Welcome learners. I welcome you all to this course on Contemporary India and Education. The course code of this course is BES 122. Indian social structure, its nature and interrelationship among these structures. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Rajlakshmi Raina, Assistant Professor from Amity Institute of Behavioral and Allied Sciences, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh. Learners, in this week 1, module 1, Nature of Indian Society, we will be dealing with 2 lessons. One on the Indian social structure, its nature and interrelationship among these structures. And the second lesson will be on problems of Indian society in the context of national development. After this session, you will be able to describe the structure of Indian society, define the characteristics of Indian society, identify and explain the relationship between various social structures. You will also be able to discuss the lingual, the regional diversities and the marginalization. So to begin with, we start with what is Indian social structure, basically what is the nature of Indian social structure. We'll try to understand about the nature of Indian society with detailed reference to caste, class, religion, family, community and pluralism. What are the forces which are responsible for bringing changes in the society? Unity in diversity along with the pluralistic approach. All languages, religions and cultures should be respected in order to respect our constitution and make India a great nation. Indian society, if we see, it's a composition of different races, cultures, religions and faiths. It's a society with many diversities and differences. But if we see, despite of these all diversities, we see that we are united. We can see unity is integral. There is some power that binds all of us in a continuity. Therefore, Indian history we find on the one hand a tendency towards unification based on religion and culture, and on the other fragmentation due to differences, and differences in what? In language, customs, economic and political interest. The Indian Constitution upholds the democratic principles of social organization. We can see it is only education which is the weapon of democracy to bring social justice by emphasizing equality of opportunities, accepting the social changes and to create a society above the basis of caste, color and creed. Everyone should be respected irrespective of their caste, color, class, religion, region and faith. So first, if we see, it is the caste system. Caste is what? Caste is an endogamous and hereditary social group which is limited to persons of same rank, same occupation, economic positions, etc. etc. The occupations of most of the caste in the ancient times, they were determined. It is not possible to move from one caste to another. Especially the Brahmin has the highest place in the social stratification of caste, and membership of the caste is determined by birth. Also, if you see caste system during medieval period, caste played a very important role in the organization of Hindu society. It maintained social and political stability. It looked after the social and mental security of the members. Basically, we can say it functioned as a trade union and determined laws about education. There was also some technical training, maintained knowledge of mechanical and technical processes, also maintain the religious life, etc. Now, why there was the existence of this caste system? There were some factors which we need to know. Firstly, the religious influence. Then we had a static society. Rural social structure was there. And geographically also, if we see, we are divided. There are a lot of divisions, differences among different tribes. And the biggest factor, absence of education. But nowadays, if you see, caste system presently in the present society is weakening. Why? Because of education, because of social reform movements. There are several political movements. Because of the growth, industrialization, modernization, we have means of communication, transportation, and emergence of new social classes, new law system. So these are some of the factors which have weakened the caste system in present society. If you see, caste system has some demerits. Caste system is harmful for the society. It basically brings social disorganization, and this results into many fragmented groups. It brings inequality in the distribution of wealth. So it's an obstacle in the social progress. Apart from the caste system, if we see the nature of the society, we have the class system. But class is more flexible than caste. In a class, stratification is free, not rigid, and membership of the class is, it is based on status, it is based on your standard of living and other objective factors. In class system, members of a class have a class consciousness. Class consciousness, it hinders the growth of democratic values. Now, what should education do for this? For this, schools should encourage the sense of equality, the sense of brotherhood. But class consciousness cannot be eliminated, without putting an end to the economic disparity and other inequalities. For this, social, economic reforms, they are very, very essential. Now again, the next nature of our society, if we see, it is the family, the community. In educating any child, it is the family which is, you can say, the first school of any child. It plays a very important role. It is the first primary social group of any individual. The child gets social experiences in the family, which lays the foundation of her personality. It is from the families that we inculcate several values. In ancient times, family was the most vital unit of social structure. Present times, if you see, the structure of society has undergone a change. Now there are two systems of family. We can find extended family as well as nuclear family. Now, what is extended family? The extended family unit is that in which the adults, the children of more than 2 generations, they live together. You have uncle, auntie, you have grandparents, children, all living together. But in the nuclear family, it is a small unit. It consists of parents and children. The nuclear family has more geographical and social mobility. So, if we see, there is a vital role played by family in educating the child. It is the family which helps the child for their grooming, practicing healthy habits, how to exhibit love and affection among the members of the family, and then how to spread it for a wider social living. It also helps the child to understand the economic, educational, recreational responsibilities of the family. Then from the family moving towards the community. Whenever the members of any group, let it be small or large, they live together in such a way that they share the basis and conditions of a common life, we call that little group a community. And each such community is a part of larger community, which we can call as a state or a nation. So a community is a social group with some degree of we feeling, togetherness. There are several characteristics of any community. The residents, they have a sense of belongingness. There is loyalty in the residents, and they all have a common social heritage. Relative economic self-sufficiency. These are few of the characteristics of a community. There is a lot of role which a community also plays as an agency of education. It is the community which functions as a formal or informal agency for education for the members of the community. We can see the school, the media, the library. In the community, they act as formal or informal agencies of education. The community has a rich tradition and culture which are spread in order to educate its members. Community many times finances for educating the members. They keep control of formal education, and also they help in the process of selecting school personnel. Educational role of the community doesn't stop here. It motivates for using informal sources of educating the members, and it also spreads the morals and values which are very necessary for a better living in the society. Specifically, community works cooperatively with the educational institutions like schools, like colleges, like universities, and they involve themselves in the human and material development of educational institutions as well as their academic activities. We can say the community as a whole, it has a tremendous influence in the development of primary, pre-primary education and secondary education as well. Education basically should be in accordance with the objectives, the ideals and the values of the society, because the children whom we are teaching, finally they have to work for the society. They become the members of the society and they have an essential role to play in the society. So our education should be based on all the objectives, the values, the ideals which are necessary for the person to be effective in the society. Social changes, they must be reflected in the educational changes. Preservation of cultural heritage. This is also one of the important functions of the community. Then coming to the next nature of any society, especially we see the religion. Our country, India, is a secular country and followers of all religions have equal rights. They worship, they can establish their own institutions. Religion and education are related deeply. The religious viewpoint has always influenced the educational thoughts. The religious freedom is to respect the freedom of all the individuals. The religious freedom is to encourage people to give more emphasis on truth, on beauty and on goodness. We can see there are lots of changing social fabrics. Why? Change is the law of nature. The needs of every society, they are always ever changing. Now, what is social fabric? By social fabric, we mean variation in or movement of any aspect of social process, social interaction or social organization. It is a change in social structure. For example, the size of the society, the composition or balance of its parts or the type of its organization. This is also true about education. Every successive generation, it aims at making improvements in the existing pattern. And it is education that helps in reconstructing and reorganizing the experiences of the needs of the society. It eliminates the unworthy features of the society, and it is the education that builds up a happier and better world tomorrow. Now coming to pluralism. In India, Hindus and Hindi-speaking people are in majority, but the people of other religions and languages also live here. Pluralism refers to a society, system of government or organization that has different groups which keep their identities while existing with other groups or a more dominant group. Pluralism serves as a model of democracy where different groups can voice their opinions and ideas. Pluralism, it denotes a diversity of views and stands rather than a single approach or a method of interpretation. If we talk of cultural pluralism, it means when small groups within a large society, they maintain their unique cultural identities. It is a situation in which people of different social classes, religions, races, etc., they live together in a society but continue to have different traditions while living together. And India is the most beautiful example of this. In a country like India, where different languages are spoken, variations in geographical conditions and climate also exist, people have an emotional attachment to their religion, to their region, to their caste, to their class, to their community as well as their language. Different terms related to social structure such as caste, class, family, village community and kinship, they are defined as segmentary entities. Diversity enriches national culture and economic prosperity, but when it's stopped down, the very existence of the country is endangered. Changes are taking place, but we have to put in more efforts as social and national integration is very crucial to the creation of a strong and united society. Now we can see people are moving from a rigid caste system to an occupational class system. The emerging pattern of people politely presents a heterogeneous way of integration. To conclude, we can say we have studied the concept of Indian social structures, its nature. There are several obstacles which are there in the progress of Indian society and maintaining its secular status. Like I discussed about the caste system. So to come out of the caste system, the class system, the family and the community, if we see the social structure in the Indian social structure, we have the family, the community, the role of family in education, the role of the community in educating the people, the religion as well as the changing social fabric, the pluralism, interrelationship among all these structures. Learners, I am sure after going through this course, you will definitely be able to explain what are the different structures of Indian society. You will be able to critically analyze the characteristics of Indian society. Also, you will be able to discuss the relationship between various social structures. You will be able to explain the lingual, the regional, the diversities and the marginalization. I hope you have a happy learning. Thank you, learners.